Hello, everyone. This is the Movie Night Society. We just filmed our bonus episode of Incantation that's on Netflix. But I picked that movie kind of to replace Seven because I thought, like, oh, enough time has passed. Like, maybe we'll not have too much to say about Seven, or it's not fresh in our minds. But it seems to be like we have stuff to say, and I think we all liked it. Um, so it remains my pick for the kind of regular rotation, and then Incantations are side episode just because it's really recent. Uh, yeah, we're talking about Seven, the David Fincher film from 1995, starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Uh, it I've seen the movie before years ago. I believe neither of you had seen it, right?
Yeah, never.
Nope, never seen it. Heard of it. Heard good things about it, but didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, what I mean, I guess I kind of already said we all liked it. But what was yeah, what'd you guys think?
Many things.
Many things.
That's a good way to put it.
What were they? What were they?
Oh my goodness. Trying to remember everything.
Well,
Yeah, this has been like
Dustin's a fan of like the true crime stuff, and you
that's
said
true.
that you didn't know the movie was like that going in. Uh, so I'm curious. I'm curious what you thought, Dustin.
I thought it was great. But again, this is one of those I can't unbias myself from certain things, and true crime is just one of them, man. Like even if one part of this movie is good and everything else was bad, I still would have liked it. Not that was the case. I liked a lot of it. I thought it was a great movie, but I thought I've watched some. I wouldn't call them documentaries, like just those really well put together, like long YouTube videos on certain subjects. You kind of like kind of what I mean, but it's not really a documentary, but like a YouTuber made it. I don't know. But I watch a lot of true crime stuff on that, and on like I don't know, like Jeffrey Dahmer or the Night Stalker, like all these things that have been blown up recently. And I thought they did a really good portrayal of a real life serial killer. I thought I didn't know that was Kevin Spacey, right? Like forever ago. I didn't
Yeah.
know he was in that. I had no idea. I kind of realized the first time we heard him, I think it was just his voice through something, and I was like, damn, that reminds me of House of Cards for some reason. I was like, oh shit, I think that's Kevin Spacey. I didn't finish that series, by the way, after the allegations. I'll just put that out there. But I thought that was great. I didn't know that it was gonna be a like mystery thriller type, some action stuff. I had no idea what it was gonna be.
I had
In
no
my
idea
head,
either.
I honestly thought, because I had seen the logo before, that it was a horror movie. But I didn't know
Okay.
what type. I had no idea. I had zero preconception going into that. So when I kind of ruined it for myself because I read most of the description on Netflix before I started watching it. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm going to love this already. So I stopped because, sometimes they spoil shit. So I stopped reading it. But then I was like, all right, let's watch. And I was hooked the whole time. I thought the mystery was great. I really fucking wish. I think it was the description on Netflix or I think it was the description because they just added it back recently, right? And on Netflix, and I think they spoiled something that I wish I didn't get spoiled for me. And it was that and I won't go like plot for plot or anything yet, but that the whole seven deadly sins thing, I wish I didn't know about that part before I started watching, because I would have had a great time figuring it out by seeing the clues and the context clues, because of like the first murder and the second. And then the third one is really where they start putting that plot into effect, because you can see all the whole word very in plain sight, at least. I forget which one it was. But I loved it. I don't think it's like the perfect fucking movie or anything, but I can't unbias myself from this, so I love it. I know that was long winded.
No, that was good. I mean, yeah, I agree. I loved it. I mean, I knew it was great because I'd seen it before, but watching it again, it's just like it's maybe I don't know. I don't want to say if it's the like crime thriller, but it like almost feels like that. You know what I mean? Like it just every kind of aspect of the crime thriller mystery, I feel like is just nailed so well in this. The characters are great. I like love the performances in this movie.
I thought the acting was great too, by the way. By the way, you didn't
Oh
change your
yeah.
background photo, I just noticed. It's still the
Oh shit, you're right. I didn't realize.
I just noticed that. I was like,
I
wait,
probably would not have noticed.
I didn't notice either. Oh well, whatever. Who cares?
who cares, man?
Yeah, we're still talking about Incantation.
Yeah, we haven't moved
We
on
filmed-
yet.
Yeah, we filmed that review before this one. If anyone's watching this one first, I suppose.
Yeah. So it's sorry about the background, I guess.
Just
But
quickly,
yeah.
since we brought up Incantation, though, even though like these are such different movies, like this movie did like body horror and just like
Yeah.
in terms of, like genuinely frightening stuff. This movie did a lot better than Incantation. Just gonna throw that out
Agreed.
there.
Definitely. You know, I want to say if I'm remembering correctly, and I really want to make sure I'm right about this first. But do you guys know who did the makeup effects?
No.
No,
Okay, I'm looking it up. I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but yeah. The makeup effects artist for this movie was Rob Bottin, who did probably my favorite movie ever, The Thing. Same guy, which is incredible.
yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, just like
Oh, I
his
read an
effects
interview
are
about The Thing real quick, if I may interject with that. It was about
sure.
I think it was the original, which you showed me once. I really don't. I might be weird here. I might say something wrong. But it was like you could tell who was infected or something like that in the first movie based on the shine in their eye or the lack of shine in their eye.
Yeah, the cinematographer put like a little glint in certain people's eyes to give them like life. Yeah.
I want to go
It's
back and
interesting.
watch it just because of that. Just to
Yeah, and I
watch
don't know. I think it's like one of those things where it's not I don't know, one for one, like every character
Oh,
who's infected, but I think it's there to kind of, you know, be that little misdirect or whatever. But yeah, I love little details like that in that movie. But like, man, the effects in that movie are great, but like Seven's, man,
Really good.
I think we'll go through like and talk about each of the kind of crime scenes or death scenes or whatever.
Yeah, I think this is a good movie to just kind of go through everything.
Yeah, it's pretty structured. Like, they, you know, it's about a serial killer who bases his killings around the seven deadly sins. So we're kind of like
Yeah. Then the
we
title
see
made
one.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's called Seven.
Did you guys really didn't know that, huh?
No,
I
like I went into this completely blind, just heard
same.
good things. Like I didn't know Brad Pitt or Morgan Freeman or Kevin Spacey were in it. I didn't know like any of the actors, anything about it. I think I'm kind of like Dustin, where I thought it was more kind of like a horror movie. I mean, there are definitely like
yeah,
almost
there's
horror elements in this, but it's I also wouldn't
some
really
people
call it.
consider it a horror movie.
I can see why. I don't like it's got elements for sure, but I could see why. Because it's a very disturbing movie, that's for sure. But very good.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
there was
very
some.
it's bleak. Like
Yeah, there were multiple scenes I think that actually made me go like, especially like we'll get to it. One scene, I just like paused the movie and was like, oh,
oh yeah,
probably know
yeah,
which scene this is gonna be.
incredibly
There's
like
multiple, but that one we'll get to that.
yeah. I guess I'll say like I was saying that the movie is like the kind of almost like quintessential crime thriller, but I guess I'd say it's like the quintessential, just like dark, like kind of nihilistic crime thriller, where like the crime scenes are like really fucked up, just like kind of graphically and just like conceptually. There's some like really fucking horrific shit in this movie. So yeah, I understand why people consider it a horror movie, but I don't really. But yeah, there's crossover, I guess. It doesn't like really matter. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll kind of go through the plot a little bit. It starts off with Morgan Freeman's character Somerset, who is a detective in this. I don't think they ever say the name of the town, do they? Like,
No.
I think it's, if anything, it's like a fictional town where it's just
It's
like,
supposed to be like an ambiguous bad neighborhood city. It's like Gotham or something.
yeah, I was gonna say it felt a lot like. I mean, I think when we
Yeah, it
talked
really
about the
did.
Batman, I probably mentioned Seven.
I think
But
you
like,
did.
yeah, because it really has that dark city vibe, and it's like constantly raining in this movie. It's like only like I feel like the last scene that like in my head that I can think of that it's not raining. I don't know about I'm probably missing a scene, but it just feels like the movie is like constantly in this
Yeah.
like dour, dark
Either
mood.
raining or it's cloudy or foggy or something like that. But yeah, I think you're right. Where
Yeah.
it definitely was raining in like most of the scenes.
Yeah, so
Had almost like a film noir feel to it, almost.
yeah, like neo noir.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good atmosphere, and the cinematography, the way this movie's shot is like so good. Um, but yeah, so we're like introduced to Somerset. He's soon to be retired from the police force. He's a detective, and he seems to have this like really, again, like kind of nihilistic viewpoint on life, right? Uh, seems like he's seen shit, and doesn't really care about people and humanity in a way. And then we're introduced to Brad Pitt's character, who like kind of um, whatever is relocated to that precinct, and he's like short tempered and but very like lively. Uh, I think Brad Pitt is like a great actor in like pretty much everything I've seen him in. It's like, man,
He was really good in this.
yeah, he's
Same with
really
Morgan
really
Freeman.
good.
Like Morgan Freeman's also like never bad in
Oh
any
yeah,
role he's in. He can be in bad movies, but like he is never the bad part about it. It's Morgan Freeman. Come on.
yeah, and he's narrating parts of the movie as well, and he's got like such a great voice. The casting in this movie is just like so spot on. One side character I really wanted to mention was the police chief, played by Arlie Ermy, who was he's the drill
Yeah.
sergeant in Full
Dude,
Metal
rest in
Jacket. Yeah,
peace,
I
man.
love Arlie Ermy. He's great.
Great guy.
It's like sorry, my headphones went out. But it's like a very, I don't know. It's not like a different. It's kind of a different role for him. He's not like yelling and screaming like he is in Full Metal Jacket, but he is like kind of this like authority figure. Um, uh, and yeah, so basically the first.
Your audio is a little strange on my end.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
it just
You
changed a
sound a little
lot.
muffled.
sorry about that. I think is that better?
There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, that's normal.
It's not his mic, it's COVID. Like that's your real voice. Like it's
You're using a voice changer. The voice changer died. It's like, this does not really
Weird. I'm
sound.
not hearing you through my AirPods though. Hold on. Hello?
oh. We can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it one more time. Sorry about
Okay.
this. This had to happen
Technical issues.
right in the middle.
That's what we're talking about. I mean, where else would it happen, dude? Murphy's Law.
There we go. Is that better? Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay. Yeah, so
I think.
going back to
Yeah.
plot, the first murder, I believe, is I'm looking at the Wikipedia just so I can. Oh yeah, it's gluttony. He basically like the killer, who we later, I guess we just refer to him as John Doe, right?
Yeah.
They never give him like a real name, which I thought was very makes him mysterious. I liked that a lot. And like, man, this one's fucking just gross. He basically tied this man to a table and like force fed him to death.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. When they like walk in that room, it's like you can like smell it.
Smell the
You know what I
filth,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like, oh fuck. It's like
Yeah,
so gross.
They do a really good job of making it feel like you can, like you're there almost.
Yeah.
Really
Just-
eerie.
Yeah, the lighting and the way this movie's shot is just like so like incredibly good. Yeah, this one's just like really gross. It's the first kind of it's the first murder scene, or crime scene, I should say, because he's already dead. I think the second one was God damn it. I think it's Greed, right? Yeah, it's
It was
it's
in the apartment with the blood on the ground and shit.
Well, yeah, it wasn't an apartment. It was like a
Penthouse or something.
The defense attorney's office,
Oh,
I believe.
yeah.
And he had to like cut off a pound of flesh, representing greed. This one's not as graphic, but it's like we're just kind of getting started with the killings and like the methodical nature of the serial killer is like really like scary. It's really like, I mean, I don't know. I don't like watch.
Dude, it's real, man. Like shit, like that guy has existed multiple times and they've all been famous. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, is there like any serial killers who are like this like meticulous and methodical?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm sure.
Because the ones
dude, all the famous ones that you can think of right now were, and their crime scenes were way more gruesome than this movie. And they were just, eventually it just got gross. I think the only difference was this guy was a little bit like he was less deranged about gross shit and more just wanted to make a point. Whereas I think the other real serial killers acted and did the same gruesome stuff just for different reasoning, more selfish stuff. But I think they both just share like the terrifying reality of like what just one unhinged person is capable of, honestly. And I just think like, dude, that worse shit has happened in real life. And if that happened in real life, I wouldn't even be surprised today. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not like surprised at all. Like if that happened, it's like, yeah, I mean, it had to eventually, or some shit. That would be my thought process. I think that's why it's so creepy, is because it's like, this is like real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like to a certain extent. There's no real fake. I can't really think of one part other than maybe some continuity stuff, which I couldn't even name. I'm just sure it exists somehow, error wise. But there's nothing that pulled me out of this to think it was like, oh, this isn't real. Like, no, that all could have been real. It's fucking creepy. Like, imagine if you were a fucking victim, just like whatever. You were fat. He literally just killed a random fat guy. Like from his explanation and everything too, and that, just imagine being put through that, like gun to your head, eating to death. Like either way, you know,
it's really disturbing to think about.
What was
Obviously
in the first killing in the bucket? I forgot.
I
remember it was. I forgot what was in there. I remember he was under the table and he was like, "Oh." I forgot if it related to another crime scene as like a clue. I just
I mean,
came to my head.
it was probably like, I don't know, like piss.
Oh, it was right? It was vomit. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, vomit. That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
Did it have
yeah.
anything to do with future shit, or was that just something gross? I don't remember.
I think it might just been something gross. I mean, I would think if you're being forced to eat, eventually
yeah.
you're gonna throw up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just all the details of the movie are like really just they paint a picture for sure. And it's really like, yeah, hard to stomach. No pun intended. It's really like
How's it going?
Ooh.
How's it going?
but it is really like it's pretty hard to watch at times, and I don't even think this isn't even. I think there's two that made me like actually kind of wince. And let me see if we're getting to it. So like there's a lot of stuff kind of in between of the relationship of Somerset and Brad Pitt's character Mills kind of growing a lot closer. I remember I think Every Frame of Painting has a video on David Fincher, and there was like a neat thing he showed of how like if you take every shot of the two of them together in the movie and you like watch them like in order, it like perfectly kind of tells the relationship of the characters. It's just like really well done framing and everything, like the way the story is told. But let me see what the next oh, okay. Yeah, the third victim, this is one that really is pretty insane. Sloth, where he basically just tied this man to a bed and kept him alive for how many years? Did they?
I don't remember, but it was fucking insane when he came back, like screaming, looking like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not saying in the Wikipedia, but it was like years.
It
that
was
this
1
guy
year.
was, like,
No, it was 1 year.
just 1 year.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was a
Okay.
year.
I mean, that's still Jesus. Yeah, this guy just looks like a. I mean, he looks dead when they first show him, and
Well,
you're
they
just like,
basically
oh my
said
God.
he was basically at that point. Like there was no way back.
Yeah,
At that doctor scene, it was like, yeah, you're fucking done. The doctor made like a joke about it. He made like a weird comparison analogy or some shit, and I was just like, that's a little dark, man. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, everything in the movie is kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's so like just kind of flippant or like nonchalant about these horrific things. Basically, except for Mills, who I think has like the kind of almost reasonable reaction to lots of the stuff, is just like fucking like hate this killer, like you want him to be caught. But we'll get to that. But yeah, this lost scene, like I don't know, like I want to see like a video on like how they did the makeup effects and everything for that, but like the guy just looks completely emaciated, like he's like skin and bones. It's really well done effects. And like just the part where he like wakes up, and you realize like, oh God, he's still alive. It's just like it kind of made me jump, and I knew it was coming. Like man, yeah, just like the crime scene stuff in this movie just like is so impactful. And then let's see, the fourth
well, real quick, I think the third, while you're looking the fourth one up, I think the third
Mhm.
one had some. I think maybe the director said literally the opposite, but some of these resemble really famous serial killers. Like I said Jeffrey Dahmer earlier for a reason, because of the sloth one. The Jeffrey Dahmer did some medical shit just like this, like where they were talking about how John Doe like gave him an IV or some kind of thing to make sure he didn't die or get an infection from something, like keeping him going. That's what Jeffrey Dahmer did a lot. He gave people like chemicals and medications and shit to try and do weird shit, kind of like this to a certain extent. So it's kind of fucking crazy because it actually I don't think he like succeeded, but this is like what would happen if he did. It's fucking insane and gross. It's really gross looking.
Yeah, the part that I really, again, the details, like all the, what do you want, like the air fresheners just like lined hanging from the ceiling is just like, again, you can like smell it. And I love the part where I think one of the detectives says, like, we talked to the landlord or whatever, and the landlord had nothing but nice things to say about the guy.
No,
Said that he was like, just really quiet tenant, didn't make any fuss. It's like, oh Jesus. Yeah, like just the helplessness that these scenes like invoke is really strong.
Now, wasn't this the same apartment too, where the detectives go outside to talk, and there's this journalist that tries to get in? Wasn't it at this part, or was it at the next one?
It was
Or it
either
just
this
seems,
one or it had to have been this one, I think.
yeah, and it just seems kind of like almost this throwaway scene until you later learn how important it is. I guess
Yeah,
we'll get to that later on, but I just like when it kind of revealed the significance of that. I was like, oh my goodness, no way they did that. I had a feeling like somehow it's like, what if they show him before, like he actually shows up? But that got me. I thought that was really clever.
yeah. I think after this scene is where Mills and Somerset use they use the library, which was funny. I watched this with David, like, who works with me at the library, and we were both like, "Hey," because they use the library records to basically track certain books that like are I guess are considered like red flags that the library like reports to the FBI. So like, which is kind of weird. In this, they mention like Paradise Lost, and it's like, I read that like for high school, you know, like
I think it's more of like military aged male checks this book out for 3 months at a time kind of thing.
yeah. But it's like they basically go to the library and they're like, they keep a list of people who check out these books, like Catcher in the Rye, and they basically, I think, find out. They find his apartment through doing this, and like they almost get him. They almost they're like about to knock on. They're like knocking on the door of the apartment, and then John Doe is like across the hall, just walking up the stairs, and he sees them and he runs, and they chase after him. Really great chase scene.
I think what I really liked about this too is that a lot of times in these movies, it's always like the killer's one step above them, like all the time, and he kind of is.
Yeah.
But I like how he was generally kind of caught off guard in this scene, like he wasn't expecting them to show up at his place.
Didn't he even said? I think was it in the cop car or was it before they started driving, which we'll get to obviously, but he literally told them, he's like, I have no idea how you guys even found me or something like that.
Yeah, that was not part of his plan. It was like kind of the only time things kind of didn't go according to plan for him.
And I have to say this every time, it reminds me of real serial killer shit, but this also is like a Zodiac type thing where you have this super smart serial killer who basically does no in his head, right, for staying or not leaving evidence and trying to seem innocent.
Yeah,
he did everything right, and the cops somehow found who it was, or somehow got this massive clue, not even from the serial killer's mistake, like just from bad luck, basically, of shit they didn't know about. And that relates to the Zodiac a lot in that part, I think, or at least the concept of, not like the chasing.
It's really funny that you mentioned the Zodiac killer, because David Fincher, the director of this movie, directed Zodiac.
Oh,
the movie about the Zodiac killer with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I like that one.
Yeah, so he's got like two really great crime like thriller movies.
It's kind of cool that he does both. I like him better now because of that.
Yeah, and of course he did Fight Club. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He also, I think, created the series Mindhunter on Netflix, which I haven't seen, but I heard is pretty good. He
Yeah, I
probably
haven't
like
seen it yet.
directed. He probably directed some episodes for it too. So I should check him out. But yeah, like I don't know. It was just funny that you mentioned Zodiac. But yeah, I agree. Will, like this part, it's like you don't expect it. You don't expect them to like kind of get like a step ahead of John Doe. And
Yeah,
it's
and then
like,
lead it to like that big chase scene, which was really good.
yeah, where
Yeah, that caught me
John
really off
Doe,
guard.
yeah, John Doe like basically could have killed Brad Pitt, but doesn't. Uh, but they kind of through um sneaky means, because they're supposed to have a warrant to investigate the apartment. But they get some lady to say that she saw something, and
Oh yeah, that was
that
pretty
gives them
funny
probable
too.
cause. Yeah, I liked that. I like the. I mean, with any detective story, it's like fun to just see them, you know, use these, wits and, kind of shortcuts and stuff. I like that stuff. Um, Again, like the way they find the apartment is like kind of like Morgan Freeman says he's not really supposed to do it, but he has like a guy on the inside who like uh pays, kind of secretly to get these records. But yeah, it's like, wow, we're not. I think there's still like 4 of the 7 deadly sins left, and it's like, oh, they already found the apartment. Like, how? What the hell? Uh,
Yeah, at that
uh,
point, I was wondering if we were even get to see all 7.
yeah, it's it's
I mean, I
like,
figured like, okay, we're definitely going to, but like they already kind of found him already. I think there
yeah,
was still like a pretty decent amount of the movie left, though. I like, what was this point at? Like the halfway point, more than halfway? That I
I
don't
think
quite remember.
it's probably around the halfway point, maybe a little before.
Okay.
Not sure. Um, but yeah, it's just like it's a great little moment that kind of keeps you strung along. Uh, and then I think the next crime scene is Lust, which this one I think is one of the worst ones, where this
Yeah,
guy
this
is
is the one that
forced.
made me like do that.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific. He he John Doe forces this guy to basically put on this strap
Strap on
on.
sword.
Yeah, and it's just, instead of like a dildo or whatever, it's like a blade, and he like forces him to have sex with this woman with this thing on, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ, they
And
don't
I just
show it.
the actor
Which,
though, like
oh
who
yeah,
was like the one that had to like go through that
yeah,
phenomenal
Really good.
performance.
yeah,
That shit was crazy.
really good. Yeah, I've seen that guy in like one other movie.
It's like,
And it's
are
like,
we sure
man.
this guy's acting? I think he just legitimately did this.
He did that.
Oh yeah, the way he's just like shaking and uh
Yeah,
yeah,
phenomenal performance.
yeah,
It's
all
only
the
like that one
performances
scene,
are
but
good.
wow, that one really stood out.
Yeah, man, yeah, this movie's great. It's yeah, so that I think uh this one is maybe one where John Doe didn't have it planned ahead of time, or like had to kind of. I think he says he had to like improvise or something, right?
Yeah.
Um,
He said he had to speed up his plans because they found his apartment or whatever.
right. So yeah, it's this one, and then uh the the Pride crime scene, which is pretty not too like focused on or anything. At least from what I remember, it's just like he John Doe forces this woman to either kind of mutilate her own face or commit suicide. Uh, and she chooses to commit suicide. So like that's her pride, is the end of her. But then I think he just mutilated her face anyway, right?
Yeah.
Just like, man. And then really this is like the last two are the same scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so John Doe basically he shows up at the police station and turns himself in, and
That was a pretty interesting surprise too when that happened.
yeah, I like these little things that you don't really expect, and yeah, like okay, like Kevin Spacey, real life, but his performance here is like he's so good.
Yeah.
It's pretty undeniably great.
It was probably good because this is before he started doing the stuff with minors.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck Kevin Spacey in real life. Fuck him. But like man, yeah, great performance. And just the way this like whole I feel like this point the movie is just like completely riveting. I mean, like not like it wasn't before, but it just I don't know. My attention, even though I knew what was gonna I knew like exactly what would happen, I was just completely glued to like for the rest of the movie. One thing I really liked, this always stuck out to me, was that John Doe cuts off his fingerprints so that he can't leave any trace of himself anywhere, and like that's why they can't find any fingerprints and shit. It's like, oh, that's dedication.
Somebody did that in real life too, but I don't know the name.
Oh, really? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's been a thing, but I don't think it was like a Zodiac level movie star of a fucking killer. But I do remember it.
Before.
It was on some Reddit thread at one point, but I'm pretty sure you could just look it up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how I know like some of these had to have like some of the stuff in this movie had to have been inspired by true things, but it's surprising that it's like it's not based on a book or anything. This feels like it would have been like a really like classic book, like
Yeah.
right? Just the way it's written and everything.
Some Stephen King novel, just missing some little monster running around.
Yeah, well, I guess the monster is Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
in real life, and no,
that's true. Dude, he's 2 steps away from being that character IRL. It's like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, he was. I mean, seriously though, he was really good at playing villains. I didn't see House of Cards, but like I know, his performance in that was considered like great. There's another movie there's another movie I could mention, but it would spoil it. But yeah, so like John Doe turns himself in and tells him that he'll confess to everything if they drive to I think if they drive to the last like crime scene, right?
Yeah.
What a buildup that was.
Yeah,
I know. Driving there, I was on the edge of my car seat the whole time.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Dude, I thought he was driving them to nowhere. I thought it was like one of those fuck, I don't want to say it either because it'll spoil it. Shit. I thought
we're spoiling it anyway, but
no, of a different movie.
Different movie, I guess.
Oh, different. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was literally going to drive them to nowhere. I was like, damn, man, they've been driving a while. Like, they're out of the city. It's a desert. I was like, what is the end game here? And then also, I didn't know that this movie was where the meme came from. The what's in the fucking box? I had no idea. I was like, oh, he said it. I was like, holy shit. No, and
It's
then I was
funny.
like, oh, holy shit. It was
Yeah,
real
I think I was
good.
watching Red Letter Media, and I think Jay said like, I hate when people refer to this as the What's in the Box movie. It's
Well,
like, well, that's
I just
like
broke a sin.
it's such a famous scene though, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's so much build up to it. The whole car ride there is basically just John Doe, Somerset, and Mills like kind of
Arguing
exchange.
ideology.
Yeah, exactly. Just stating their own philosophies on things, and uh, I mean, I really love when movies like have this something to leave you thinking, you know. And I think this movie, uh, I don't know, it left me like really feeling empty in a way, but it like made me think a lot. Just yeah, about the characters like mindsets and philosophies and stuff. But yeah, so they drive out into the middle of the desert basically, and uh, they're just there, they're waiting, and a delivery man comes with a package.
Poor guy.
Yeah. um, which I liked how, I don't know, just like how realistic it was that that guy just, he had no idea about anything. Like it's like suddenly he's just like confronted by a detective, like and is just told to run.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
How
sure
far
the
did he go?
implication is like someone might pick him up, but like it's just funny.
Some
uh
say he's still running to this very day.
I thought that was pretty funny too. Poor
yeah.
guy just had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, and so it gets a package, and Somerset gets the package and opens it while Mills and John Doe are there talking to each other. Mills is like, keep an eye on John Doe, and yeah, John Doe basically says like, I envy you having a wife, and then you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, immediately it's like, oh no. Because
Yeah.
Over.
what I liked is, when she's talking to Morgan Freeman about having the child,
Oh
or like,
yeah.
I'm pregnant and everything, and it was kind of a very heartwarming scene, really. I'm just kind of thinking, like, why was that scene in here? It's there for a reason.
Yeah, that
And
that's
then
something we didn't mention. Is just like the Mills's wife, played by Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, she's really good in this,
Pepper
and
Potts.
yeah,
That's who
and
she is, huh?
oh yeah,
Yeah, you didn't know. I
I,
immediately was like,
know.
oh,
I knew.
Pepper,
I recognized her.
Pepper Potts. Yeah.
For a
Yeah,
second, I thought, because I mean, I guess they have similar. Well, not really, but I thought it was the chick from Zero Dark 30. Unless
no,
that's the same person.
that's Jessica Chastain, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was her. I was like, oh, I
Completely
know
different
her
person.
somewhere.
Well, you did know her from somewhere, so I guess that part wasn't inaccurate.
Yeah, I definitely did. Because she's
Yeah.
not around anymore in the movie.
So we didn't mention that whole scene where the wife invites Somerset over to their apartment for dinner, and it's like just a really nice scene. They
I
like
couldn't tell if she
laugh
was
and
like flirting with him or not.
Dude,
It almost seemed like that to me.
it almost seemed like it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not
Yes.
the only one.
But they're
I
just
thought,
like,
what
they're
are
just
gonna
really
be-
Are they gonna have like a
friendly to
love
each other.
triangle thing going around here? This
That's
seems
what
very
I thought was gonna
flirtatious.
happen. The
Okay,
whole
thank you.
time.
Me too. Me too. Okay, I'm not the only one. I feel better.
I the reasoning my brain put, because you said before where you knew that scene about the baby had to be there for a reason. I thought that's where the affair was gonna start. I was ready, dude. And it of course it made sense later, but I was like, damn, man. Fucking great. Oh, also, fuck, what scene were we just talking about? Oh, I forgot already.
Just the dinner scene.
Oh,
kind of jumping back,
I
but
thought they were gonna pull out, like, it reminded me of From Paris with Love, where they're just sitting there and he pulls out the gun and just gats the lady in the head. I was like, I was
waiting for that to happen or
I
something.
was so close. I was like, no way that he's about to do something like that. Like, I thought, oh man, I was waiting, man. That was crazy.
yeah, but yeah, this scene's great. Just I think it's like the scene that it's like the heart of the movie. in a way is like the relationship between Somerset and Mills. It's like you want them to be like happy, and of course it doesn't go well, but like, yeah, it just makes the movie so much more like emotionally impactful. But there's like little things I like. I like just they live right next to like the train tracks, or
That was funny.
railway or whatever you call it. So like their apartment just shakes when the train goes by. But yeah, this scene like sets up the Somerset's wife, and yeah, it comes to a head here.
Really?
Well, there are so many fucking
I thought
jokes
mine was
today.
I had to do it.
You planned that one. That's the only planned one I feel like so far. Oh no, Will, you had one earlier. I feel like it was
It's like
planned.
Julian was one step ahead of us.
Yeah, so it's revealed that John Doe went to Mills's apartment and killed her. I think like John Doe. Did John Doe know that she was pregnant?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay. Mills is the one. Mills doesn't even know that
Yeah.
his
But
wife was
he
pregnant.
almost like taunts Mills with that info. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you didn't know. He didn't know. I think he even says like, oh, he didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fucked at that point. I was like, oh, dude, he's gonna shoot him. Like,
Yeah,
I knew it at that point.
Yeah, you knew it was at that point. It's like, and that's what he wants. So it's like he's gonna do it, and that means he wins.
Yeah.
Which
the
is
villain's
like
gonna win.
which is the kind of I don't know what word you would say to describe this, but just the dilemma of the movie is like, I mean, I don't know, for like I wanted him to shoot like John Doe in that point, you know, but you know that it's like not the right thing, and it's like he'll win. Like John Doe wins when he does that. It's like,
dude,
oh,
if you don't want to win, you just gotta like beat him to an inch of his life. Not
yeah, that would.
But
Yeah,
he's got the gun in his hand, and you know, Somerset just he knows. He tries his best to stop him, but he knows like
yeah,
it's probably like in vain.
Well, I think
John
it's
Doe
funny.
has the upper hand. John Doe has the upper hand.
I also thought it was a pretty cool contrast where it's like, I mean, obviously because he's fucking psychopathic, but like the 7 deadly sins were originally put in place for like a good reason. Like if you don't do these things, you live a great. It was seen differently, and he kind of like took it in a different way. Whereas like instead of avoiding the 7 sins to make a good point, he like dove into them thinking he was making a good point. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Like they're not there to, they're there to avoid and live a good life, not, it's like he kind of did the opposite. You kind of get what I'm saying? I'm bad at this whole psychology thing.
It was like a whole psycho who, thought he was doing
Yeah.
God's work and thought he was like this martyr and I'm just carrying out his will, yada yada.
He just found a reason that he latched onto extremely. Obviously, that's like,
yeah, and it's always obviously very scary, like what people will use like to latch on to like justify the stuff they do.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's like that
humans
was
are capable of very
extreme
scary,
example.
disturbing things.
Yeah, and that was like, people don't even need that much to go crazy these days. Like shit happens that is not that from nothing. Like people are just fucking crazy and do crazy shit for like no reason, let alone this crazy detailed thought out thing. It's like such a just weird contrast.
Yeah.
Also,
like,
I think this movie ages really well too. I think you could watch this anytime ever and it would be pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. There's nothing that like dates the movie. No, like I don't know. There's like, is there like any songs in this movie
I don't
like
know.
that would pinpoint it to any
I don't
certain
think
date?
so. No, I don't. It didn't feel dated at all to me. Felt like this could have been a movie that could come out now.
I think like do they have cell phones in the movie? Like, did cell phones maybe like brick phones. But
They had the regular telephone, like landlines. I don't
okay,
know if they have
because I
cell.
don't think
I
they
don't remember if
state.
they use their cell phone. I
They
could be
don't state
wrong.
like when the movie takes place. I think.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it makes it
It's
feel like
timeless.
pretty timeless, though.
Yeah, and like the
Like it could
themes
just
are very, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's taken from Paradise Lost and stuff like that. The stuff they mentioned in the movie.
Dude, I don't know what Paradise Lost is.
Okay, well, I was supposed to read it in high school and I didn't, but um I mean it's basically about the fall of the Garden of Eden, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea.
Uh
I don't even know what it.
it's
I've never
about,
even.
I
Maybe
think
I
it's
knew.
about like Adam and Eve like delving into sin,
Oh,
basically. That's the Paradise Lost is Eden.
got it.
From what I remember. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense that they mentioned that in this movie. That I forgot some of the other stuff they mentioned. I think like Canterbury Tales. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Chaucer and I'm not like I work at a library, but I'm not like a literature buff, unfortunately.
Yeah, is
Um,
that FBI thing real, Julian? Be the insider here. Do you submit?
I
you
your
should know
work?
these things.
I would imagine it's real.
Well, I
But
meant like I'm sure it's real.
I
But
wouldn't
like have
I
you
wouldn't have
like
any idea.
have you ever gotten an accidental FBI error message on your work computer?
No,
Like some crazy shit.
no. I mean, if anything, I don't think like, you know, I'm a part-time worker, so like I don't think I definitely wouldn't know.
I feel like they're not checking libraries in the Valley of California. I feel like it's
I'm
just not
just
the place.
I'm just a bookshelver, basically. That's
You're
it.
just stop trying to pass off the blame. You're an informant, and we know it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think we said everything that happens. I mean, yeah,
Well,
John Doe.
we never explicitly said yet that his wife's head was in a box. We never.
Okay,
stated
well, I
that.
mean, I thought it was implied, but
Oh,
yeah,
well, yeah,
that's what happens. The
Yeah, as soon as
package
he brought up
is,
the box too, I knew it's like
yeah.
that's
That
his head.
was
That's his head.
yeah,
His wife said. Just
which
immediately
is like,
knew.
I like that they don't show too much of the later
Yeah, they don't
uh
show her
kind of
head in
graph.
there.
Yeah, they
yeah.
don't show it.
You can just
They didn't
tell,
show,
especially by Morgan Freeman's expression. Like
yeah,
you know. So I like
yeah,
that they didn't show it. You didn't have
yeah.
to.
They didn't show the lust body, right?
Yeah, no.
They didn't show
They
her
like they
body.
showed half of it, but not like the
There's
lower
a
half.
blanket over her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was
everything
really
is
nice. That was
implied.
nice not to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You don't need to. Like as soon as the photo hit the table of what he used,
oh, dude.
that's all.
yeah,
You don't
and it's
need-
like we've seen we've seen all three of the previous ones that like just that like color the whole thing. Yeah, yeah, I thought it was really smart of them not to show it. It made it more like effective, like not seeing it, because it puts us into Mills's perspective too. It's like he didn't see it. Yeah, just a great like finale scene, and that like John Doe is envy, and he turns Mills into wrath. And the final like kind of narration by Morgan Freeman's character Somerset is like, I think it's on here in Wikipedia, so I'm just gonna quote it. But he says that Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for. I agree with the second part." And the movie just ends, and it's like, Jesus Christ. But I like that though, because Somerset in the beginning is kind of like not, he doesn't care about people really, and then in that final line, it's like he says that the world is worth fighting for, but that it's not a great place.
True.
But like he says it's worth fighting for, and it's like that is a big character change for him. I like the whole like where you can look at a character from the beginning of the story and the end of it and see how much they change. Like Brad Pitt's character obviously is like just completely broken in the end, and it's like, oh man. Another movie that I really like, that's about detectives and stuff, is Memories of Murder, by Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite, and it has like a pretty similar change in the two detectives, like from the beginning to the end, which I really liked. So check out that movie if you like Seven. I just wanted to mention it. Yeah, I don't know what else is there to say about the movie. It's kind of like it's great.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered most of the things about it. It's really good
Yeah.
though. Really good movie.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Guess it's
I'll
rated
watch it
on.
again.
Yeah, I could definitely see myself seeing it again.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm kind of like, I don't know why I didn't watch it in the years since I first saw it. Like, it's so good. Maybe because it is so like downbeat, but I don't know. I like downbeat movies. This one's really, really good. Yeah, I don't know. Should we just rate it?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sure.
Yeah. Man, I recommended it, so I'm gonna rate it first, but it's tough. It's basically a perfect movie. But I'm not sure, like, on my scale, would I give it a 5? Just like, I think like Dustin said, like, for it to get a 5 is like, it's gotta be really personal and like hard hitting to like you as a individual. It's like it was, but not as much other things. But like, I'm at least 4.5. I think I'll go 4.5. It's just like stellar. Like, I don't know, it's amazing. If you want like dark, like crime detective shit, like this is quintessential. So yeah, 4.5 from me. Could go up to a 5 at some point, but sticking with 4.5. What about you guys? Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go. I want to give it a fuck. I
Fuck out of 5.
I want to give it a 4.5, but a 4.5 and a 5 to me are just in the same level of it. I can't personally relate to a fucking serial killer, so I'm gonna give it a 4. Otherwise, I would give it a 4.5. But a 4 is really good. I think right now I'm kind of stealing this idea from a different reviewer online, but I think a 4 for me is way above average. I think for me there's a big fucking jump between a 3 and a 4. I think a 3 is a pretty good movie, but a 4 is like, it hits certain points of like, 1, I enjoyed it a lot. 2, if I give it a 4 or above, it means I'd be willing to see it again, but also it means I'd be willing to pay to see it for the first time or the second time. So I think 4 for me is pretty fucking high. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
And if I was a serial killer, I'd give it a 4.5. Some alternate reality.
So if your rating ever goes up for it, then we know, Dustin.
Oh shit! I'm gonna come back in 3 weeks. Hey, I want to change my shit to a 5.
Oh, 911. Yes, hello, officer.
I feel like maybe if you were a detective, you'd give it a 5.
Yeah, no, I mean, I said there's a joke. But
Well,
yeah,
let's see. Dustin would be more likely to become a detective or a serial killer, though.
I'd be Dexter.
Well, which rating do we want him
He'd be
to
Dexter.
I'd be both, man, and I'd have a similar terrible ending. But I would definitely, Yeah, I mean, honestly though, like all jokes aside, if I really was a cop, I'd have given it a higher one. But like I said, anything past a 4, man, it's not that it's never gonna be that good. It's just I have to have some personal tie to it. And I
Oh
think
no, yeah.
I think hobby wise it hits that, but outside of that, it doesn't. And that's not even a thing against the movie. That's just me. But I still feel like I want to give it a 4.5, but I can't. So I'm gonna get 4. I'm gonna stop talking.
Well, don't feel too bad, Dustin, because I'm also going to give it a 4.
Hey,
Okay.
Yeah, really. A 4 is really good. I'm more reserved to giving a 4.5 or a 5 to probably like my favorite movies, and I wouldn't say this was anywhere like near my favorite, but it's still really good.
agreed.
All the characters great, memorable, very rememberable villain, very disturbing scenes. I don't have a lot of negative to say about the movie. Kind of like what Julian said. Like it's not like I like agree in a sense where it's like quote unquote like a perfect movie where you can't think of really any flaws with it, but it's not one of my favorites at the same time.
I think to me, like a perfect movie is like a 4, and then 4.5 and 5 are like personal, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it's just
like
like not one of my personal favorites. So I think a 4 is a really good solid review rating for it. Really good movie. I'm definitely planning to see it again.
yeah, definitely. Even just talking about it made me kind of like want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will, but oh man, I think I said like in the previous video that like I was gonna watch Fight Club again and see which is my favorite David Fincher movie, but I didn't. I just forgot. But I don't know. They're really different. Fight Club is more, I don't know, kind of wild and like transgressive and weird, I guess. Like it's not really structured. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about Fight Club at some point, even though
Speaking
we're not
of,
supposed to.
before we're not. First of all, that'd be breaking the first. Oh fuck! I already fucked up. I already fucked up. I can't. We can't talk about it. We can't make a podcast about it, man.
You broke the rule, though, Dustin. You broke.
I know.
The rule.
That's why I stopped. I was like, "Fuck!" I already fucked it up. Also, before I forget, on that subject, before you go on, just a little interval. I'm gonna send you both something relating to Fight Club. It's less than 5 minutes, and I guarantee you, it's worth your time. It's a video, and it's
Okay, well, we
most
can do
hilarious
that
shit I've ever seen.
after we end the episode.
No, I'm not doing it right now. Like
I know, but why do we even bring it up now?
Because I don't want to forget.
We're about to wrap up here. I think the only thing, well, this movie for an average rating, it got 4.1, which is our third highest rated movie after Rocky and 2001: A Space Odyssey, and right above Paranormal Activity. So
and John Carter.
Oh yeah, of course, John Carter.
Can we ever go 1 week without talking about John Carter?
It's not possible.
Apparently not.
It's just too good.
Mm-hmm.
Movie.
Good at
fucking the John Carter sweep versus Morbius.
It's a very good at being bad movie. That's the only time you can say John Carter is good. Yeah, is being bad.
What's better, Morbius or John Carter? Okay, I'm getting off.
Hey, at least Morbius gave us Morbin time. What did John Carter give us?
I saw Morbius. It was better.
The famous Morbin.
There you go. Julian saw both. He can confirm.
It wasn't like I don't know. But I watched it with friends and we were making fun of it, so made it more entertaining.
They were all Morbin out.
They were Morbin all over the screen, man.
John Carter doesn't have a scene where Matt Smith is dancing to have sex in the bathroom for no reason. Okay, well, I think the only thing we gotta do to wrap up the episode is decide what's next. Will, it's your pick. What's next?
Yeah, I kind of had something in mind, and then I forgot what I picked, and then I kind of remembered. So there's that. So, if I got to do my original, if HBO Max didn't suck and take off the Rocky movies, we probably would be doing Rocky 2. But Rocky movies are not on HBO Max anymore. Thank you very much. But I thought of
No?
something that we all like. I assume Dustin likes it. Like Julian and I love this franchise, I guess you could say. And we haven't
Yu-Gi-Oh.
done
Yu-Gi-Oh.
no.
Oh,
R.I.P.
that
to
would have
the
been
creator.
good.
Damn,
Yeah.
that would have.
R.I.P.
Dang, I didn't think about that. But yeah, I have no idea if Dustin feels about this franchise. I'm sure he likes it. But we haven't done one of these movies yet, and I thought it was appropriate because I felt like it. And I haven't seen this one. So first off, the franchise is Godzilla. So we're watching a Godzilla movie. I assume Dustin likes Godzilla.
I'm down with
I mean,
monsters.
who doesn't like Godzilla? Come on.
Yeah, who doesn't like Godzilla?
I don't know,
Alright.
weird people. Leave me alone. Anyways,
been
we're watching
around for,
Godzilla,
Ever.
and they have a bunch of them on HBO Max. So
Which one?
we're gonna go with Destroy All Monsters because I haven't seen that one.
Is that
I
an
would
older
like
one,
to.
like one of the classic ones or something?
I
Yeah,
think
like
it is, right?
69.
Damn. Destroy
Okay.
all monsters.
Destroy All Monsters.
All right.
Okay, I don't know. Well, we'll see how this is. I don't think I've seen this one. I
Really?
have all the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, you haven't seen Destroy All
But,
Monsters. Okay, I haven't
I
either.
was marathoning them with my parents, and then
Yeah, I thought
we
you'd seen
stopped
them
at some
all.
point.
Okay, I
No,
thought you saw them all.
not yet.
Okay.
So maybe I'll watch the ones I haven't seen before this one. But I know there's another one called All Monsters Attack, or like All Monsters Out?
All Monsters Attack.
Yeah, so I think that one's bad, but I've heard good things about Destroy All Monsters.
I have
think.
too. That's the one.
Unless I'm getting
kinda...
them mixed in my head.
No, I heard
So-
good things about Destroy All Monsters, so I'm like, I want to watch a Godzilla movie, and this one seems pretty popular, so we're gonna go with Destroy All Monsters. Let's watch some Godzilla.
Sweet.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so next week is Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. It's on HBO Max. I'm checking out what year it came out. 1968.
68? HBO Max says 69.
Oh, that could be like the US release date. Who knows?
Probably. Who knows?
Around that time.
Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Come join us next week for that, and we'll see you then.
Peace.
Bye. Bye.